President Tinubu, National Security Advisor, service chiefs hold first meeting. 9 rescued as building under construction collapses in Abuja. JAMB bans UTME candidate for 3 years. On the foreign scene, Senegal's presidential Macky Sall rules out third term after deadly protest. Hello and welcome to the news update on Trust TV. I am Ayuba Ila. Thanks for joining. And now the details. President Bola Tinubu had his first meeting with security chiefs on Monday with a charge to them to work together as a team to end the spate of insecurity in the country. He met with them on a day former governor of Zamfara State, Ahmad Sani Yerima, advised the president to explore dialogue and amnesty as one of the strategies to end the spiraling violence in Nigeria. Kehinde Amodu reports.
Government actors may have changed, but killings, kidnappings, destruction of farmlands and sacking of communities remain a daily staple in Nigeria. The change of leadership has also swept in a new set of security chiefs who will attempt to overcome these inherited security challenges. Despite the fact that the insecurity has outlasted quite a number of security helmsmen, this set believes it will be contained on their watch.
And you can see already things are improving in our country. If you see the record of crimes and activities of the criminals, it's going down. It will continue to go down. We will secure this place.
A key requirement the president expects from the new security chiefs is a unity of purpose.
We know what he wants for this country. We are going to work tirelessly to ensure that we accomplish that objective of securing our country, establishing peace, stability, and let's get our lives back.
Meanwhile, several persons are advocating the strategies to be deployed in dislodging bandits, insurgents, and out-of-state armed elements must include dialogue. One of such people is former Zamfara State Governor Ahmad Sani Yerima.
I'm not saying that the government should just continue to just negotiate indefinitely. No, I said invite them. There are people who repent in all religions, Islam, Christianity, Judaism. You find that God himself who created us, once you repent after committing offenses, after committing sin, he forgives you. So there is no way you can say Nigerians should not be forgiven for if they repent.
Yerima is also bold enough to suggest that the strategy should also include amnesty for the bandits if they repent.
President Umar Musa Yar'Adua had similar interaction with the militants in Niger Delta, and it was successful. So I believe that as Nigerians, if they are called upon by government, the major causes of this problem is poverty and ignorance. You cannot find an educated human being, properly educated human being who has something to do, to take his arm, a gun, to go and kill an innocent soul, just in the name of looking for food. These people are having, very high level of poverty and ignorance. So if the government now comes up with a program of rehabilitation, just like they did in the issue of Boko Haram when the issue, was handled, I'm sure you will have a successful ending of this crisis.
As the new government settles down to work, the strategy it will adopt to contain the insecurity in the nation will soon become manifest. The stark reality is that attaining an enduring peace is key to any success the new administration will achieve. From State House Abuja, Kehinde Amodu, Trust TV News.
6 herders were injured following an attack launched by natives in Payankunkore community in Gwagwalada Council, Abuja. The incident took place inside a grazing reserve located some few kilometers from Gwagwalada town. The 6 injured herdsmen were taken to a clinic in Gwagwalada for treatment.
One of the injured person, Yusuf Lawan, said he was leading his cattle out of the grazing reserve when he was rounded up by some natives over the allegation of farm encroachment. I reside at Angwarbasa. I went out for grazing, and on my way back home in the evening, one of my cows strayed into a farm and ate some crops. A native who was unhappy hit me with a machete. Some of his people also joined him to hit me too. They wanted to set our hamlet on fire, but I was unconscious due to the excessive bleeding and didn't know what transpired next. Leader of the Fulani community in the area also seen at the clinic. Wakili Julie said the natives community mobilized their members that include vigilante security men and headed toward the hardest hamlet within the grazing reserve with aimed to set them ablaze, but were resisted. I was at the specialist hospital in Gwagwalada when my attention was drawn to the fact that cows have eaten off 3 crop plantations. This led to an accident that resulted in the farmer injuring the herder. I was again notified that the Bagis natives have mobilized heading toward our hamlet with aim of setting them on fire. So I informed the DPO about the development, and we arrived at the location in the company of a patrol team. By then, they have already injured about 6 of my members, as they used the vigilante who were holding guns to deceive them. The police have, however, arrested the situation. Efforts to hear from the Bagi community at the Gwagwalada Police Division on Monday over the development was not successful. But one of the vigilantes in the entourage said 3 of their members were also injured during the incident. He, however, added that none of them has been hospitalized. The Gwagwalada Divisional Police Officer, Chief Superintendent of Police Hamza Sadiq, confirmed the incident, adding that a police team drafted to the area were able to save the situation from escalating.
The police in Zamfara State have vowed to arrest the suspected hoodlums who invaded Kadamusawa village and killed 6 persons. A statement by the Police Command's Public Relations Officer, Assistant Superintendent Yazid Abubakar, explained that they received information of the invasion from the district head of Kotokorshi, Bello Umar. Now, the source said that a large number of unidentified armed men suspected to be Nsake local armed volunteer group, popularly called Nsake, invaded Kadamusawa village under Kotorkoshi town and started shooting indiscriminately, which led to the death of 6 persons with 4 others sustaining injuries. According to the police, the injured victims have been taken to Kotorkoshi Primary Health Care Center for medical attention, and while one of the injured victims died in the health facility while receiving treatment. The PRO said that the police is working to fish out the culprits and bring them to justice. The Commissioner of Police, Muhammad Bunu, appealed to relatives of the victims to exercise patience and allow authorities to handle the situation. 9 out of 20 persons who were found trapped in the rubble of a 4-story hotel building that collapsed on Monday in Dape Life Camp, Abuja, have been rescued. The building, which was under construction as of the time of the collapse, is said to be owned by one of the top hotels in the territory. According to the eyewitnesses at the site, the hotel, which has an underground facility, had no fewer than 20 persons trapped. While emergency responders and security personnel were on ground for rescue operations, officials of the FCT Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, said 9 persons had been rescued as of 9 p.m. on Monday. Away from that, Nigeria's Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, on Monday opened its defense at the ongoing Presidential Election Petition Tribunal in Abuja. The commission at the resumed hearing presented an assistant director at the IT department of the electoral umpire as part of its defense against opposition parties challenging the 2023 elections' final results. Noel Samson reports.
The electoral body, which has 3 witnesses to defend its case against the Labour Party, told the court that its first witness, who is supposed to appear in court on Monday, could not appear due to some domestic issues. These did not go down well with the counsel for Labour Party, who decried what he called the non-preparedness of the electoral umpire.
Well, we were really surprised and shocked because having had the Salah holiday, the weekends and all that, more than a week, we thought that they would have been ready because on our part we prepared so well that we were ready to embark on a demolition work. But that is their case. They came to court and said that they wanted to, they proposed to have 3 witnesses today. The first one was unavailable due to domestic reasons. We were not told what happened to the other 2. Therefore, they're asking for adjournment to tomorrow. We are ready to come here tomorrow, but I have a hunch that given the contradictions and inconsistencies and what INEC has done, I'm sure that they're not ready to defend this case.
However, counsel to the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Chris Uche, SAN, appreciated the tribunal for admitting part of the commission's certified evidence.
Today, the final report of an international observer group accredited duly by INEC, that is the European Union Observation Mission. Their final report was today tendered and admitted in evidence by the court. And you see that the witness who came from INEC, a director from INEC, read out the findings in that report, which clearly stated that that election fell before expectation, or fell below expectation, and that only 31% of what was reported was mathematically accurate.
Counsel to INEC, Abubakar Mahmood, pleaded with the tribunal to allow it present its witnesses within the 3 days it has to defend its case. The Labour Party, People's Democratic Party and the APC did not oppose the plea as court adjourned both cases to the 4th of July. Noel Sampson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Now, mixed reactions have continued to trail the recent report of the European Union Election Observation Mission, EUEOM, on the 2023 general elections. This is as the mission's report indicates that there were obvious lapses in the electoral process. The mission highlighted 6 priority areas, including systemic weaknesses. The mission pointed out that the need for further legal and operational reforms to enhance transparency, inclusiveness and accountability in future elections. Some Deltans have been reacting to the report by the EU mission amidst the swift rejection of the report by a section of the populace.
I think that was a bombshell coming from the European Union. First and foremost, they said, according to them, the election were somehow in secrecy, the journalists were attacked and all of those things. This is a first-hand information report coming from EU, and if that's anything to go by, it shows that the last election was flawed. So if we have been accepting other reports by the EU before, obviously we should accept the same report. So
what the EU, their report is very clear, and their recommendation, the 6-point recommendation that they gave, is also clear. The election, especially the presidential.
As a country, I think we must outgrow this thing where we allow foreigners to tell us whether what we've done is right or wrong. We must come to a point where we begin to evaluate what we've done by our own internal mechanisms, so that at the end of the day, we can now, as a people, say, is this right or wrong?
From the reports of the EU, though there are certain positives that should be, taken from the reports, and I implore the electoral umpire to study the report and see how they can improve on the elections going forward.
Now, amid the controversy trailing, now students have been asked to shun drug abuse and examination malpractice in order to have a brighter future and contribute to national development. The call was made by one brigade of the Nigerian Army, Gusau, during engagement with selected schools in Gusau as part of activities to mark the Army Day celebration. The report.
Drug abuse among students has become a prevalent and a source of concern for parents and teachers alike. Most of the perpetrators of banditry, kidnapping, cattle rustling, and other crimes in northwest Nigeria are said to be under the influence of hard substances. It is against this backdrop that the Nigerian Army takes the campaign against drug abuse to secondary school students in Gusau, the Zamfara state capital, enlightening them on the danger of drug abuse as it could truncate their future and affect the country's development.
You have a son who were his brother half naked at the photos. This is civilization. Please, let's try and correct him and correct it. Even if that person, that girl, she's not your daughter, or that boy is not your son. That's the way you correct somebody without embarrassing.
Excessive taking of drugs, not for medical purposes, knowing fully well that these drugs may affect you, but you still take it. And drug abuse has these effects on our body, particularly the brain. When you start taking it, it has a way of working on the brain that it becomes permanent. In the sense that even when you take today, it will try to modify your brain, that you will want to take it tomorrow, and as you continue to be taking it, it becomes an habit.
What causes criminality in the society of today is, I want to earn money quick. If you did not finish your secondary school, can you be able to get any work? Lazy work? No work for lazy man. So you have to be a good student, be a good child to the society, a good child to your parents.
A teacher in one of the schools, Charles Abruku, promised that the school would partner with the military by providing them with credible information which could assist to flush out the terrorists from their hideouts in the state.
The board of directors, the management, and the entire staff and students of Yola International School to express our greatest joy today for hosting this ceremony. At the beginning, over the weekend when we had the invitation, we were thinking of so many challenges and we were not very comfortable.
Now, amid controversy trailing the Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination result obtained by Ms. Ejikeme Mesoma, the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board has insisted that her result is patently fake. On Sunday, Ejikeme was accused by JAMB of forging her 2023 UTME, a claim she has denied. However, in a statement on Tuesday, JAMB spokesman Benjamin Fabian said that the body has withdrawn her result and consequently barred her from writing the examination for the next 3 years. The examination body also reassured Nigerians that its system was neither tampered with nor compromised, as the candidate simply falsified a copy of the result slip of a candidate named Asimiyu Miriam Omobolanle, who sat the UTME in 2021 and scored 138. You're watching a news update on Trust TV. Coming up shortly, we'll take a look at why university students are unhappy with school fees increment. Details and more after the break. Welcome back. This is the news update on Trust TV. Here's a look at the top stories. President Tinubu, National Security Advisor, service chiefs hold first meeting. 9 rescued as building under construction collapses in Abuja. Elsewhere, the FCT administration has confirmed the outbreak of the deadly diphtheria in the territory after it claimed that the life of a 4-year-old boy out of 8 reported cases. The Director FCT Public Health Department, Sadiq Abdurrahman, who announced this on Monday at a press briefing, said information available to it confirmed that the disease was imported from neighboring Niger State. He disclosed that 2 weeks ago, the department was alerted of a possible outbreak of the disease in Dede, with 8 suspected cases reported. Abdurrahman added that the department immediately swung into action by activating its emergency response, through which it collected samples for test at the National Reference Laboratory in Gadua, as well as the Nigerian Center for Disease Control, noting that the outcome of the result, which came last Friday, indicated that 1 came out positive out of the 8. The director explained that the department was collaborating with neighboring states to checkmate further spread of the disease from contagious states through border surveillance, as he advised residents to take their personal hygiene seriously. Students of University of Jos have been lamenting the recent hike in school fees by Nigerian universities, saying that the increase will negatively affect their academics. The students who spoke to Trust TV in Jos also said that the hike in registration fee is not a welcome development. Ado Musa reports.
As a follow-up to the official increment in tuition, some federal and state-owned universities have issued official statements notifying students of an upward review of the school fees that students are expected to pay for the next academic session. But the students say the increment will prevent them from pursuing their academic dreams, adding that unless something is done, the increase will force many students out of school.
Some of the students may drop out as a result of the increment because some of the students, they are the ones sponsoring themselves.
The amount that we have presently, some people are not able to afford. By now, up to now, some people have not yet paid their school fees. And when there is this increment, I don't think some students will continue to study.
Students are struggling. People are struggling. Considering the economic problem that people are facing, the challenges people are facing, it's not kind of funny for everybody.
The students, however, call on the federal government to intervene in order to enable ordinary Nigerians have access to tertiary education.
Nigeria is not owned by the rich. It's owned by both the poor and the rich. So we are calling upon the government to please to consider the poor people.
If it's through a grant to help the student with, so that they can sponsor their education, I think it will be a better approach.
Yeah, the palliative will help in terms of granting the student loan, as I earlier said, and then I think the fuel increment too should be looked into in terms of just the way maybe organizing buses for students to be able to come to school. Yeah,
the federal government have to just step into this. They have to take drastic action to make sure that everything fall in place. Imagine paying from 45, then it is being increased not ×2 but more than ×3.
They said if the increase in registration fees comes to stay, coupled with the harsh economic realities of the now, it will be difficult for children of the average and poor Nigerians to access formal education in the country. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
On the foreign scene, Senegal's President Macky Sall has declared he will not run for a 3rd term in next year's election, ending years of uncertainty over his political future that helped fuel deadly opposition protests last month. In a speech carried live on his official Facebook page, Sall maintained that Senegal's constitution would have allowed his candidacy despite having already been elected to a 2nd term in 2019. Rumors that the 61-year-old leader will try to extend his stay in power have led to bouts of unrest since 2021, in which dozens have been killed, shaking Senegal's reputation for calm in a restive region. Sall was first elected in 2012 for a 7-year term after prevailing against then-President Abdoulaye Wade, whose decision to seek a controversial third term prompted violent street demonstrations. And that's a wrap on the news update. You can watch more via all our social media platforms and also on our YouTube live stream. I am Ayuba Ila. Thanks for watching. Bye.